People. Que pasa, sapa, say what they do. Now, people, it is now official. St. Elizabeth is no longer the breadbasket capital of Jamaica. It is now officially the Tekka capital. And what do I mean by Tekka? That means that when GVNNM3N run up in the spot, we are speaking about arms with some pie and basically put everybody down on the ground. And the latest incident occurred we are speaking about on Wednesday at about 12:45. We are talking about just after midday when two GVNNM3N ran up into an insurance company and put down everybody upon them face. They took an undetermined amount of cash and also jewelry and also cell phones. Now, people, what is even more mind-boggling about the whole thing is that this is the fifth we are talking about robbery in St. Elizabeth in the last 2 weeks, and also the 32nd in 2020. People, we are not even in the middle of the month yet, and they are talking about 32. And based on the information, it is also said that they had 31, we are talking about all of 2019. So people, 31 in 2019, 12 months, and in 2020 we are talking about 32. So more than likely it is going to be doubled. Now, based on the information, based on what the Minister without portfolio, we are speaking about a person whose name is Matthew Samoda. Based on what he is saying, this is the reason, because the popo clamped down on the drugs. And if you know anything about the drugs for a gun sale, we are talking about that accords between Jamaica and Haiti, where they basically take, we are talking about the lower kind of grade of weed, and they transfer it to Haiti and them get some guns in return for the weed. And also, most of the high grade that is coming from that place, we are speaking about St. Elizabeth, it is also taken, we are talking about the places like Bahamas, we are talking about Costa Rica. So based on what this person is saying, we are talking about Matthew Samoda. He says because the popo has clamped down in the past few years, that is causing, so people are having a desperate dash for cash. So they are getting more desperate, and like I said, desperate times calls for desperate measure. So the point that the minister is trying to make is that based on the clampdown, we see that these persons are now desperate and resorting to basically turn upon their own community. We are talking about prayer upon St. Elizabeth. People, we see that it has been having a very negative impact upon the place, because the business owners, alike with the residents, they are basically scared for their life. So anyways, this minister is claiming that this is because of the record amount of bus we are speaking about as it pertains to drugs in the parish, and also the implementation of security measures. And we're also speaking about the popo them. They are now mobilized because they got a lot of new vehicles. So therefore they are more able to do them job. Now, people, when I listen to what the minister says, it makes some sense and it does not make too much sense, because the truth and the fact is that as it pertains to the guns for drugs, it is still happening. As it pertains to drugs, we are talking about weed specifically, going to the Bahamas and also Costa Rica and places like that. They are still doing it. Nothing has changed. And I am not saying that it is not less. I am just saying that it is still happening. However, I think that these persons that are doing these robberies, they are more the petty type of thief. Because the truth and the fact is that based on what I know, based on my information, most of these persons that are smuggling, we are speaking about to the Bahamas, they are usually big-time businessmen. They are usually big-time smugglers. However, the fact that there's a lot of guns for drugs going to Haiti, we can see where it might impact the decisions of some of these thieves. Now, people, when I sit and analyze this situation, whatever the minister said, some of it makes sense. We are speaking about 50%. However, when we look at the situation as it pertains to these new millennials, we are speaking about a set of lazy people. Them like things the easy way. So therefore, if them can borrow a gun and run up in a spot and get some cash, that is what they are going to do. Especially when the place is easy taken. Especially when there are not too much popo rolling about and patrolling the place, especially when there's not a lot of CCTV camera. So therefore, if the government does what it is supposed to do, we are speaking about implement these security measures and make sure that there's a lot of popo patrol in the place, I am sure that we will see some sort of reduction. However, if it continues like it does, then people, it is going to be the same thing. And like them say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different result. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, before I move to the next part of my video, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source, one word. And I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. And also, subscribe to this channel. And when you subscribe, please press the notification bell or icon. And also press all in the option. Now, the next thing that is popping in the news is that we see that the government of Jamaica was ill prepared for the repatriation of those 2 planes that came from, we are speaking about United States, we are talking about Florida and New York and also Canada. We are speaking about at least 190 something persons or 200 persons that came in on Wednesday evening. Now people, these persons came in on Wednesday and they are now staying in St. Anne's Bay. We are speaking about at a place, a hotel that is called Bahia Principe, I think. Now people, less than 24 hours after reaching this destination or this government facility, we are speaking about quarantine facility, persons are complaining. They are complaining about from the time that they reach at their place, we are talking about at the hotel, they had to wait in excess of 3 hours before them can left the bus to basically go up to them room. And when they left the bus, they had to take a stairs or take a long stairs walk. We are talking about to the 5th floor. So their rooms were on the 5th floor. And they also complained that we are talking about old lady, we are talking about pregnant woman, we are talking about mothers with children. They had to walk 5 flights of stairs with their luggage with no assistance because the elevators were not working or the elevators were disconnected because they did not want persons with possible big C in the elevator. We are speaking about in a close proximity. So therefore they had to take the stairs, which was very long, which was very tedious and which was frustrating. And persons were also crying because they were struggling with their luggage. And like I said, they had no sort of assistance. Now once they got to the rooms, they said the rooms were filthy. We are speaking about dirty shower. We are speaking about toilets that were not working. And also, may I talk about bad food. And people, what made it so bad is that because of the long travel, we are speaking about on Wednesday, when they came in, they had to wait a couple hours just to get some food. And people, when the food reached, the food was horrible, the food was bad, the food was like prison food. May I talk about corned beef, may I talk about dasheen and yam. People, we are speaking about persons that are coming from Canada, persons that are coming from New York and Florida. People, they are used to decent food. They are not used to hog food or any sort of prison facility food. Now, based on the information, it is said that the food is horrible and the treatment of the nurses. Now people, when we think about Jamaica, Jamaica has some of the most bugoyaga nurses on the face of planet Earth, on God world. For true, for facts, people, they don't know how to deal with people. They are very unprofessional. And based on the accounts of some of these persons, we are speaking about these quarantine people, they are saying that they are verbally abused by these nurses. As a matter of fact, a person in an interview by a person that sound like he might be on the fishy side, this one person alleged that he told the nurse that he does not eat seafood, and she mumbled and responded, "Fish not eat fish." Now people, you have to remember that these are supposed to be professional nurses, and they are treating these persons as if they have leprosy, as if they are some sort of outcast. And people, the truth and the fact is that these are innocent persons that did not sign up for this. They are inconvenienced based upon the policy. We are speaking about the Disaster Risk Management Act and the curfew and the big C, rate, lele, blue, blah, bling. So in other words, they were not expected to come back to their country after all of the inconvenience of being stuck with a tabo in America and Canada. And then when them come back home, they are treated like prisoners. They are treated like outcasts. So anyways, we saw that the Prime Minister, we're speaking about Andrew Holness, and also the Health Minister, I am speaking about Dr. Christopher Tufton. They came out and they apologized, and they said that they are implementing plans to make sure so the situation is rectified as soon as possible. So people, the moral of the story is that the government of Jamaica, and specifically the health ministry, they were ill prepared. They did not do their due diligence. They did not make proper preparation, because the truth and the fact that these persons are now being abused, we are speaking about by the workers at this hotel, and also the nurses who are supposed to be professional. And I also heard family members complaining that they brought medication for their people that are at these quarantine facilities, and they were not given the opportunity to basically drop off the medication. They had to go through all sort of rigmarole. So people, the moral of the story is that we see that these persons left from foreign and they came back home where they thought that they would be welcome. However, the treatment was less than stellar. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, that is my views on the whole thing as it pertains to that. And like me say, it is just my views and opinion. It is not the gospel. Your views and opinion can be respectfully different from mine. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Bless up.